Hey fam! Welcome to MIKEroaggress'd Friday. I'm very excited. I've been looking forward to this. Uh, Amazing husband and wife based podcasting duo straight out of Mexico. We have diversity in the house tonight. Nat and the guy.
Hello, thank you for having us. And yes, clearly very diverse.
Yeah, good to see you.
We got like 50 shades of beige right now.
Exactly.
But you're in Mexico, correct?
Yeah, we're originally from Canada. The country just went absolutely crazy. It's headed in the wrong direction. We had to do something, so we planned to escape. It took us about 4 years, and now we're in Mexico. Great decision.
But I am Mexican. I lived my whole life in Mexico City before I moved to Canada about 13, now 14 years ago, and then came back.
That's awesome. So you guys met when you were living in Canada?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. I want to hear all about that. One sec. Hello to all of our beautiful chat friends. Thanks for being here. Clinton, good to see you last night on Adam's show. Hey, B. Hey, Unit. Unit, thank you for the super chat. Still the most hetero YouTuber there is. I think that's just because the rest of them are so fake and gay that I would seem like less so by comparison. Hey, B, glad you're here. So yeah, screw politics. I just want to hear about like your love story, how you guys met.
Oh God, I think I was non-political. I was like, I had a bunch of jobs. I was teaching MMA, and at night I would work at a bar as a bouncer. And she used to come by every day and just pester me. And then one day she came back after I didn't see her for about a year. I didn't even recognize her. She was absolutely beautiful. And yeah,
Thanks.
She wasn't poor.
oh
no, well, I
she
was
went through a
not.
butterfly transformation or something.
Well, I was not sober, I think is what he was trying to say. I've been about 9.5 years sober now, but yeah,
Hey,
so the transformation was very obvious. Yay. So yes, and then kind of started building on that, and eventually.
Yeah, she got me to
dating.
sober up as well. So
I didn't get you to.
Yeah, we've been both sober for almost a decade now. So
Yeah.
Damn, congratulations.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Necessary.
So how long has it been that you guys been together?
8 years.
8 or 9 years. Yeah, quite a while now.
8 years. 8 years.
Hell yeah. So you're both in
Yes.
Canada at the time.
Yeah.
So how long have you
Suffering.
been in Mexico then?
Since last year, we got here July. Actually drove down with our dog because she's a French bulldog and she has back issues. So we can't put her on a plane. So we drove all the way from Vancouver to Mexico City.
What was
Last
it?
year.
What was like the nail in the coffin for you with Canada?
Well, I think it was
All of
different for
it?
both of us. Why don't you go first?
Well, for me, obviously, during the bad times of 2020, just because I don't know how based YouTube has gotten now, I started realizing how sheepish the people were. And I used to be, both when I was in Mexico and when I had just gotten to Canada, super, super woke, like to the point where I organized pride marches and helped and used to volunteer with like an LGBTQ youth group in Vancouver, everything, short hair, all of it.
That's
leather
okay.
jacket.
That's why he said you became beautiful. It was when
Yeah.
you weren't woke anymore.
Yeah.
And that was what, about like 10, 11 years ago ish. And then I started noticing, from being like so inside the whole wokeness, how crazy these people were and how they had already started with the pronouns and with the yelling at people for people within the community for getting pronouns wrong. And I started saying like, this is not the way it should be. I was always kind of against feminism, but that was obviously, that would make you persona non grata if you said it out loud amongst my friends at the time. So I started looking at other things, other opinions, other people, one of them Jordan Peterson, because that's the first thing you get when you try to find alternative viewpoints, but also Charlie Kirk. So it did affect me a lot this past 2 weeks, what happened to Charlie Kirk, because he was one of the first voices I actually kind of found. And then I started reading, etc. And I became pretty political. But then when talking to him, he was almost not political at all, didn't really care, didn't want to watch the news. He thought it was annoying and depressing. And then during the bad times of 2020,
Kinda right.
I started watching Donald Trump, and he would actually make fun of me and call me baby Trump, like as an insult and as a nickname. And I started saying, you should actually watch what he's saying, because it's very different to what our government here in Canada, well, there in Canada, was saying. And he started noticing also, I think, as I already had, that the news was completely twisting everything, both his words, but everything in general. And then just seeing how people treated each other and people that were jabbed, that chose bodily autonomy, how they started treating everybody. And then I got in trouble with the government about the jab and etc. So that was kind of it. And then the city year by year declined as I lived there. So the Trudeau reign of terror made it a lot less safe. I got chased, I got spat at, I got yelled at multiple times by crazy people on the street that are living on the street. And just even walking our dog was impossible past 7 p.m. because you never knew who might jump out at you, especially if I was alone. And I felt way less safe there than I ever did in Mexico City, as crazy as that sounds.
What part of Canada was that?
Vancouver.
Oh God.
Downtown Vancouver.
A lot of NGO money comes into Vancouver, and they test run a lot of things before it goes to Washington, Oregon, California, and then across the United States. So Vancouver's really tip of the spear when it comes to wokeness.
Yes.
Yeah, NGO money is like fucking Hotel California. Money comes in, it doesn't go out though.
Yeah, by the time it gets to California, it's well tested from Oregon, Washington, Vancouver, so they know what's going to work there usually.
Yeah. I agree with B. She says Nat should join Walkaway and share her story.
I was thinking of doing it because I found Walkaway actually years ago.
What's Walkaway?
The Walkaway campaign. I'm not American, so I always thought, well, I wasn't a Democrat. I know, but at the time I was like, well, I'll wait, and I just never did it. But I did find them pretty early on-ish when I realized other people were kind of waking up too.
Yeah, so guys, it's basically like people who have walked away from the left.
Yeah.
Shit. Ramiro, this is so true. Honestly, it must feel even more soul crushing to see your city become unsafe rather than just being born into it already being a shithole.
Yes.
So I'm from New York City and lived there my entire life. I've just moved to Florida in this last year, and that's exactly what's happened to me. It's not even just the things you would think of like the crime and stuff, but it's like the entire population of, you think of New Yorkers as being badass and not taking shit, and they've just been replaced with these compliant sheep.
It's in Canada they had the highest compliant rate in the world when it came to the jibby jab. Man, in any situation I came down on a different side of politics, it was just like, man, everybody hated me. I said, we had to get out of here because they were just too compliant. I said, it's only a matter of time before we're living in a socialist or communist society there.
Yeah, for sure. What?
Of course. And I mean, it's impossible to buy a home. We want to have a family. That's impossible to do there ever. So
what kind of reaction did you get, Nat, when you started speaking up and your views started changing? Did the alphabet people appreciate that?
No, but I kind of distanced myself kind of slowly. I would continue to, I kind of pretend almost, just because I was attached to, once again, I was volunteering with a youth group. I worked at a high school where I had started programs like a GAB program and stuff with other youth advisors. It's what I was back then. So I kind of just stuck it out. And then I slowly, as I changed jobs, as I started doing different things, we worked in the film industry as well in Vancouver and just kind of kept to myself. And then when we started the channel, I guess the few remaining people that didn't agree with me speaking out kind of fell off. But funnily enough, most of my friends that were Mexican that I either knew from before in Vancouver or that I met in Vancouver, but that were Mexican or other nationalities other than Canadian, they would just debate me and talk to me like a civil, normal person. And we would have lively disagreements, but we always knew we would continue to be friends. But in job settings and stuff, I would just either shut up or pretend I kind of agreed for a while. And then I did start speaking up, or for example, removing the pronouns from my email signature. That there is like a big act of rebellion, apparently.
Yes. Did they call that out? Were they mad about that?
No, because at the time I was working at a school that wasn't owned by a Canadian. So they kind of did it to go along with it, honestly. And most of my friends said the same thing at work for their jobs, that they would just say yes and not along because it was harder to have to deal with the repercussions. But that fact that you're self-censoring yourself even before they ask you to was insane to me.
Yeah, it's unbelievable the things that these people go along with. And Canada, especially in 2020, was really insane.
Oh yeah.
And after.
It's so dramatically different to see Mexico because family and family values are huge here. When you go into a McDonald's here or any restaurant, even nice restaurants have play areas for kids, 3-story jungle gym, stuff like this. In Canada, they've taken away anything that's for kids in the McDonald's or any kind of restaurant like that. So family values here. It's just interesting to see somebody walking down the street with like 2 or 3 kids, because in Canada they have 2 or 3 dogs.
Yeah, there's no
in
strollers.
Canada they'll fucking euthanize the 2-3 kids.
Yeah, they do have the MAID
was it?
program
I
up there,
saw-
and that's huge.
Do you guys remember there was this really sad kids book that I don't know if it was an American thing or everyone read this book as a kid. It was called something like I'll Love You Forever, and the kid, his mother dies, and that it's a sad children's book. Anyway, I was just reading the author of it is being euthanized in Canada now.
Oh yeah, they have these little pods, and then they have commercials on TV to try to glorify it. They did a study saying how many millions of dollars they save just by people euthanizing themselves. It's a complete scandal. They don't have real respect for life, but they want a virtue signal like they do.
It's insane. I mean, I feel like this is one of these things that if it were in a dystopian movie, we would say, oh, that's too unrealistic. That would never happen.
Well, they're trying to expand the MAID program there for infants and children. So if the infant comes out slightly retarded or has a disability, that the parent can euthanize it, which is absolutely like crazy. Yeah, it's a huge thing. They're trying to expand the program to homeless people and to children.
Veterans.
Yeah. If you call into a helpline for your depression as a veteran in Canada, they will recommend the MAID program, which is a self-deletion program to you.
Holy
Yeah.
shit. And the thing is, these are the people calling everyone else Nazis, the ones actually doing eugenics.
Exactly.
Yeah. People don't understand what's going on in Canada because they keep a lot of this stuff inside of Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit. Let me hit DeVille. Thank you so much for the super chat, dude. Just wanted to say hi. Hi, DeVille. We love you. Yes, if you guys feel so inclined, send in your super chats, become a channel member, or join my locals and Patreon. Sunday night for my subscribers, we are doing movie night. I'm watching Sleepaway Camp for the very first time. I don't know if you guys are like horror movie people, but
No.
I am. But...
He is, but I'm not.
Really? Okay, we got now. We'll get you into them.
Sure. I usually what I would do was read the synopsis when he would make me watch one. I would read the synopsis to know what was coming, so I would like know the plot.
No, you're gonna ruin it.
Yeah, then she would ruin it for me, so we wouldn't have to watch it.
Oh my god, it's okay. Everyone has flaws.
Yes, I have many.
Yeah, it's crazy, dude. Though, do you think there's any way back for Canada? Like in this country, for example, I thought there was no way back from 2020 with the election and COVID and all that shit. And now the pendulum, it seems, is starting to swing back. I don't think it's going to be as simple as people seem to think it is, but it's swinging back more than I ever thought it would. Do you think there's any way that could happen in Canada?
Well, there's one opportunity, and I had known this opportunity before because anytime you talked about it, it was the third rail in Canada. Before there was cancellation, they would debank you if you talked about the subject online, and it was called diagolon. And it was the idea that Alberta and the Yukon would vote to separate from Canada and go to the United States, making a diagonal country to Alaska. And now the idea of the 51st state is actually in full effect in Alberta. So if Alberta separates, I think the provinces fall like dominoes in Canada, and potentially they actually unify with the United States. The movement's actually really big in Alberta right now.
Really? I'm glad to see that not everyone was just on board with taking it. Like, I feel like they really tried to make an example out of those truckers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, it's interesting in Canada because within the Constitution, each province has a right to hold a vote and decide if they want to actually leave Canada at any point. It's one of the only few countries that's like that.
This came after Quebec tried it a bunch of times.
So you think there could be like a Canadian sort of Brexit?
I hope so.
I don't know. He's more positive about it than I am. I do think, and from what I know and what people tell me, and just seeing it as an outsider, once again, I am from Mexico, lived here my whole life, and learning about both cultures. I don't know if there's enough fortitude within the people, honestly, and they've been almost conditioned to be the nice, polite, quiet ones. That standing up for a lot, I think, for a lot of them is too difficult.
That's how I feel with New York. That's what's happened to New York, which is crazy to think New York City nice, quiet, submissive people. That's insane.
Yeah.
But they've just replaced native New Yorkers with these yuppies that move there. And now they have like an open communist who's going to be their next mayor. It's crazy.
That is insane.
Yeah, if it happens, maybe if he has the wrong policies in New York and they fail horribly, maybe the people can wake up there.
That's what I'm thinking. Like maybe
I
they
hope
need
so.
to see how bad it can get.
Well, in Canada, it's complete legalization of all drugs. So we're talking all hardcore drugs or substances are legalized.
Is this true? Alberta is right wing.
It's more, I mean, way more. If you compare it to everywhere else, yes, it's super right wing. But I mean, that would be saying what?
No, Alberta's
like a regular big city.
Alberta's the Texas of Canada, pretty much.
Nice.
Yeah.
But even
I've heard Vancouver is the Portland.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
or worse.
Or worse.
I'd say worse.
Worse. Oh my god.
Yes.
One time she was working with Billboard Chris.
Yeah.
He's from Vancouver as well.
Yeah, I would film him around. We did it quite a few times, went to a few protests to film him having conversations. And just when he was just starting out, I saw him on someone else's channel. And then he said, "Oh, I'm in Vancouver." And I was like, "Oh, I got to go talk to him." So I talked to him and kind of helped out with his website and a few other things. But we got chased around by 3 people wearing black bloc, and I dropped a microphone, for example. Like even I in Vancouver have had that kind of experience, and it's not like we were big or he was even that well known, but it's insane that was happening there so long ago, in my opinion.
That's crazy. I did Dave videos with Chris. The things that these people say are insane. Like there was this woman saying about how children who are transitioned, if they regret it, that's okay. They'll be fine with it. Like, they'll be fine with it. Are you out of your fucking mind? So I was like, like young girl, double mastectomy, grows up and regrets, she'll be fine with that. She's like, yeah, that's fine. We just need to break away from gender. She'll be fine with that. Like, bitch.
They're targeting kids in foster care within BC. One particular surgeon has done over 500 surgeries because these kids don't have any parent. It's the state that's kind of their parent. So there's nobody to defend them and to kind of say no. So as soon as they're put in the pipeline through counseling and medication, they go right to the end pretty quick.
It's insane. The things that I never in my life thought would even be up for discussion are now even debated like this. Wait, so I want to back up. We got off. I went on a tangent. So wait, how did Nat get you to become? And how did she like basically make you based? As you said, you weren't into politics.
Yeah, I was not into politics. I would just do my day job, do my night job at the bar, and anytime I came across media, it was completely anti-Trump. All the media in Canada is paid for by the government. They have billions of dollars. So media. I had no idea what was going on. I just thought, oh, orange man bad, like everybody else in Canada. And then she kept telling me things. And I said, you're crazy. You're baby Trump. I don't want to hear it. But eventually, once the jibby jab era started, I started waking up. I said, oh my God, this is becoming authoritarian. So I started listening and doing some research about Trump. And I realized almost everything they were saying about him was a lie. So it started to red pill me. And then from there, it was just a snowball effect.
And I think for men, it's easier. And with men, I mean, men that are men, I mean, you did jujitsu, you did a bunch of other more manly things, stereotypically manly things. It's just way easier because it's already kind of within the biological value set that men have. So
I don't understand. Okay, someone needs to explain this to me. I don't understand that lately I keep meeting these straight men who are liberals. I don't understand how any straight guy could be a liberal at this point. Like, it just does not compute for me.
Maybe they're just trying to pick up chicks. That's the best I can figure. They're just pretending. But even that wouldn't work. That would turn women off, I would think.
Well, except if you're in a big city.
It should.
I mean, the women
don't
are all
understand it.
Pumped full of birth control, and that changes their whole hormone profile and who they find attractive. And then the men are pumped full of estrogen because of everything that's all around us all the time.
And then they're all on fucking antidepressants.
Yes. So they don't actually feel things. They're just numb. So maybe liberals are just numb. It comes through easier.
No, I
Well,
think that's a big part of what's happening. And,
well,
and I really
also,
feel like the chip stuff and the euthanasia in Canada is really just sort of like the next step forward from like we got there from antidepressants everywhere, from vaccines everywhere, from trans kids. It's like that's the next evolution of this.
oh yeah, and I can see in Canada and a lot of Western countries other than the United States, there's a pipeline to turn conservative men into liberals. They'll if you speak up on any kind of political issue that's conservative, they will cancel you. You will lose your job. They'll take your social media. They'll debank you. They'll give you tens of thousands of dollars worth of fines through hate crime laws. And then they can even imprison you. And this is going on in every country. And people are talking about cancellation in the US right now. But every other Western country, they've been doing this for over a decade. And Canada is a perfect example where they legislated this cancellation into existence through hate crime laws and specialty groups.
It's insane. Yeah, they said these people suddenly pretend that they're against canceling people now because Jimmy Kimmel couldn't go on TV for 2 days for lying to his audience.
You have no idea how angry I was. He was trying to play the whole, well, free speech is important, which yes, it is. It's one of the most important things. But the dude could have gone on YouTube or started his own
I'm with
whatever.
you, Nat.
Instagram. He can talk wherever he wants. It's not like you don't have a right to get heard. You have a right to speak. If everybody disagrees with you or gets mad at you, then that's on you, not on your rights.
I'm with you. I agree in a principled sense. Like, I don't believe anybody should be canceled or fired or anything for having an opinion. However, that we're at war with these fucks, and these are the rules that these people made. So I feel like they made their bed, they need to lie in it. And then we can rebuild and say, now that you've seen the reality of the things that you advocate for, maybe let's not do these things going forward.
I honestly think Americans need to start pointing out what they're doing in Canada, what they're doing in the UK, in the EU, and in Australia by legislating all this cancel culture into effect, where they literally debank you. This isn't happening on the States as big as a part, but Americans, especially in debates, need to take this up as a talking point.
Yes. So what's Mexico like politically now? I don't know anything about the politics there. So is it liberal or?
So Mexico, luckily everybody in Mexico has always been very wary of the government. Like we're always very suspicious because we have obvious examples from always. So in Mexico, people always have considered their government. You always look twice at what they're doing, and most people never agree with all of the government anyways. But 6 years ago, well, 7 now, AMLO or Andrés Manuel López Obrador came into power, and he started his own. He started his own party called Morena, which is a very left-wing, quasi, we want socialism, Marxism kind of stuff. But he was dumb enough that it didn't get implemented properly. But then our presidential terms here are 6 years. So it's a long time. So after he was done, and they can't get reelected, he kind of put up the new first female president of Mexico, Claudia Sheinbaum, who's basically just a copycat of him. I mean, she does a few things better. She has a few more brain cells, but minimally. And a lot of really what you would call woke policies from like 10 years ago started to be implemented here. And a lot of it under the guise of like indigenous rights and women's rights and protecting women. But the problem is now that whole party has they passed a resolution where now we vote in our Supreme Court judges and magistrates and everybody else in the Supreme Court. And of course, the elections are completely fabricated and manipulated by them. And people are paid to get into those positions and to get people into those positions. So all our judicial system is essentially controlled by the same party. So it's insane, essentially.
But I will say this. Donald Trump is having a great influence on the Mexican government because he's pushing them to the conservative side because they're desperate for this tariff deal. Mm-hmm. And the Canadian government, they should be desperate as well, but he's going the opposite way. Doesn't want any relationship with the US. So he's becoming more and more of a globalist, even though the government is crazy liberal here, I would say. Donald Trump is having a good effect on pushing them back to the center.
I think that's kind of happening across the Western world. Like Italy elected Georgia, so I'm hoping that we'll see like more places like this turning to the right and rejecting this bullshit.
But here, I mean, when I was in Canada, I would notice like from friends sending me messages, or I mean, I went to a pretty liberal school when I went to like high school and before here in Mexico, and most of my friends were, I mean, just liberal, the default liberal, but not like woke or progressive. And I started noticing that they would start doing the pronoun thing when they would send messages, and doing the, because in Spanish we have default pronouns, so everything does have a pronoun, and they would start using like the @ symbol. And then I started seeing more and more in the media, in like regular TV, YouTube channels that I used to watch from Mexico, how it was feeling like Canada 10 years ago. And that kind of also made me say,
you guys are like, we thought we escaped this shit.
Well, I'm here as like someone from the future to warn people what's going to happen.
Mexico is also very interesting because you have Mexico City and then you have the rest of Mexico. So Mexico City is extremely liberal, while the rest of the country has a lot of religious conservative values that are really ingrained into the culture. So it's a lot harder to implement liberal policies across the entire country.
Yeah, that's another thing I don't understand, is how people with these sort of religious cultures, like Italians or Spanish or Mexicans, like how they could be liberals.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of them have, I think, forgotten that they're religious, and they just do it because it's become like tradition. But I don't know how many of them, actually are in it. They just go to church every so often.
But that brings up a great point, because in Canada, all the churches were starting to be covered in LGBTQ plus rainbow flags, not just Christian rainbow flags. So I think if the left starts to fall, they're going to put the skin suit on of Christianity. They've already got into the hierarchy and trying to have this woke ideology be reflected in religious tenets, which is absolutely crazy.
That's so damn true. Biden was trying to do that shit too, talking about how Christian he is. Where I lived in New York, the church near my house a couple blocks away had all the leftist flags in front, alphabet people and the Black Lives Matter and the climate flag for climate change.
Yeah, same in Canada.
Well, yeah, Canada, actually, they burnt down.
Homophobic. I preferred that.
In Canada, they burnt down 200 churches that were independent, not government approved, and then they're also trying to take, what do you call it? Charitable status is away from selective churches that they think are bigoted or against abortion, which is crazy.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable.
One of the main tenets.
I think that people don't necessarily realize just how close we came to that being the norm in this country. Like we didn't dodge a bullet. We dodged a fucking bazooka, but Trump winning this last election.
Yeah, you need the next election to really secure it in depth. So hopefully it seems like it's really swinging hard to the right side. Hopefully that continues in the midterms and the next election. Otherwise, because I think the left is just thinking as soon as Trump's gone, the movement's gone. But after what happened to Charlie Kirk, it seems like the right's really consolidating, and I think JD Vance is going to have a good run here.
Oh, I'm looking forward to Vance 2028. Sea Striker, thank you so much for the super chat, my love. Yes, Biden is very devout to the thing. Yeah, I can definitely see though that that's where they're going to be headed. That they're going to try to use the language of the right to cloak these failed leftist policies, which Gavin Newsom was trying to do that when he was doing all these podcasts. I think he did one with Charlie Kirk a couple months ago.
Yeah, I've been watching every episode.
Yeah, he's trying to cloak himself in the language of being anti-woke. Oh, I would never say Latinx, and then it cuts to years of him saying it.
Yeah.
Oh, pronouns are stupid, as it cuts to him doing all the saying them constantly.
Yeah.
Well, he's got years of failed policy, and the fact that they're going to put him up for the candidate, he's going to try to erase his own past there.
I don't know who else they have. Like, is AOC able to run this next time? I keep hearing they're going to.
I keep hearing too. I don't know if they can actually do it. She can actually do it, but I mean, I guess AOC. Their
best option might be a Stephen A. Smith out of left field, who's non-political and he has years of debate on his sports channel. So they need to do something different that's going to appeal to moderates.
I don't know how they could even begin to, unless they just really count on people having short-term memories.
But actually, what's something, because I saw one comment, what's actually interesting here is that in Mexico, for example, there isn't even a real conservative party. There's some that say they're conservative, but they've actually folded over to the woke, and they were never actually that conservative. They were just religious. But
That's what
actual
Ramiro was saying,
conservative values, yeah, exactly. Actual conservative values don't really exist within politics here, which means smaller government, everything else that
but
means to be
it's
a
strange
conservative.
because if you stand outside of a church, which I have, and just watch people pass by, they'll go like this. People are really ingrained with religious values here, but there's no party that reflects, I would say, the majority of the society, which is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, that's really how the Republican Party was before Trump, is there was really very little difference between Obama and Mitt Romney or Obama and John McCain. Obama was just better at, he was a better manipulator. He was better at concealing his real intentions. But, you know, Obama gets in office, takes us from 2 wars to 7 wars. What difference would there have been with John McCain? He would have done the same damn thing.
And he was able to segment. I mean, Obama really, in my opinion, was one of the first times where the population in the States actually got segmented into these separate groups, and the intersectionality started happening. And the conversation around identity really kicked off with him and with them trying to get votes through separating the population into little groups. And those have just consolidated and solidified more and more with the years as they pass, I think.
Yeah, and I think that they realized how powerful that was for them, because this isn't a racist country. If it were, people wouldn't be so afraid of being called racist. But they learned that by calling people racist, sexist, homophobic, any of the ists, they can get away with murder. They can do whatever they want. And right before identity politics started taking shape, you know, there were people talking about corporatism, talking about Occupy Wall Street and all that shit. They introduced identity politics and made everyone so obsessed with race and identity. You never heard another word about that shit.
Yeah, well, it's like I think we're both non-Christian, but I believe in a non-moving moral foundation, which Christianity kind of provides. So even though I'm a non-Christian, I would say I don't mind those core tenets, and those are good tenets which the country was originally founded on. I think there's a big group of non-religious people that would prefer to have a non-moving moral foundation base that can kind of put guardrails on politics. The left is getting their morals from the top down. One year they're anti-war, the next they want war with Ukraine, China, and whoever else.
Yep. No, I'm hearing that from a lot of people I know, a lot of friends of mine, that even people who aren't necessarily believers are very pro-Christianity at this point. My best friend here is an agnostic, but he's like, you know, getting a Bible for his daughter and is like very pro-Christian, because I think we've really seen that when a culture loses religion, it gets replaced with something worse. And that's what's happened over this last decade.
Yeah, definitely politics. And when
identity.
Well, when politicians think they're going to give the citizens their moral values, I mean, things have gone awry.
Yeah. This is so true, Sea Striker. The tactic is to keep the peasants at each other's throats fighting over nonsense so they don't see the true enemies. 100%. And that's why they hate Trump so much, because he ripped a lot of people's masks off and showed a lot of true enemies.
And so they don't question also, and they don't inquire further because they're too busy fighting each other. But again, what I do appreciate about here in Mexico is that people are just naturally untrusting of the government. So it is something that most people understand. While in Canada, I would say, well, do you really trust Trudeau and the government? Oh, yes, Trudeau's great. We love Trudeau. He's so handsome.
Well, the big conversation kind of coming up because of Britain is a digital ID, and they're trying to implement a digital ID in Mexico. Why don't you talk about it?
Yeah, actually warned about it because we've been talking against digital ID and
but how they're going to print it out.
and CBDCs and stuff for years now in our original channel and now in this one. But here in Mexico, they're trying to get people's biometrics to attach it to their, it's kind of like a social security number, but eventually it will be required. However, the president during one of her dictatorial morning conferences said it wasn't going to be required, but then in the law it says it is obligatory. And the way they're going to do it is you go get your biometrics, and then they're going to send you an email, very secure, with your new card, and that you have, and then they say you can print it out and go laminate it at the like Office Depot, and that's going to be your ID.
Digital ID in Mexico is you print out the card and you laminate it yourself.
What cheap fucks!
But I will say this
that essentially rounds out what the Morena government is. It's just that times 1,000.
I will say this about Mexico. There is a lot of like more organized crime. So they're not going to want a digital ID. And even if they set up the system, they don't want it to actually track people. And they're definitely not going to want a digital currency. So as much as I might not like organized crime, in this particular case, I think organized crime is really consistent with with what the citizens might want, which is not wanting digital ID and not wanting digital currency.
I am so with you, dude. So I just rewatched The Sopranos, and my mom always says, bring back the mafia. And I agree with her now. Bring back the mafia. Like, we were so much better off with people like Tony Soprano around than these limp little soy boys.
Yes.
We would have never, you think there would have been fucking pronouns if Tony Soprano was running shit? Never.
Yeah, pronouns back then were sir.
Yes.
Sir or were.
Yeah. 100%.
But
Yeah,
I mean,
they
even
would never let
here,
this happen.
they're trying to do that too. I mean, the whole drag queen story hour has started up over here. Like all the things I saw for the past 10 years in Canada, it's happening now. Yes. And I mean, right now we are in Mexico City. We will try to escape somewhere rural eventually, but especially in Mexico City, because here the way it works is here in Mexico, the elites look up to the States, to the United States, and always looking up and trying to imitate whatever they see over there. So for the longest time, they have seen that being super woke, the pronouns, the respecting people, the equality, diversity, equity, inclusion, all of that was kind of popular with industry as well and with companies. So they imported that here alongside with the help of NGOs and other people that are paid that want that over here as well. And so from the elites down, it is being implemented. But then amongst the people, they don't really care or understand the concepts, but it is very dangerous for them to just go along with it, kind of like Canada has, because then it'll just become normal for them because that's what the celebrities and that's what the rich people are doing, which is worrying. That's why I'm speaking out so much against it in Spanish. No, and I am already getting a lot of hate for it.
Really? They don't like that in Mexico?
It's the same insult, like the same insults, like, oh fascist, blah, blah, blah. But funnily enough, in Mexico, the word conservative is actually used as an insult. So that's where we're at. Like, there's no conservatives. And the word conservative is used by the politicians from the left and the current president as an insult. So that's how far behind we are on conservatism here.
It's hilarious, too, by the way, because in languages like Spanish, every word is male or female. So I don't know how they can even pretend to get away with this non-binary bullshit.
Well, they use the @ symbol because it encompasses both.
Oh, God.
Well, but being a Trump supporter in Canada and now in Mexico, it's just like you're not going to wear a Trump t-shirt outside or a hat. But I will speak online, and I think Trump is gaining a lot of support worldwide, especially right now in Europe, the UK, things like that. He's the only country. It looks like all these Western countries are like lemmings running off of a cliff and jumping. At least Trump is trying something different. I don't know if it's going to work, but at least he's not jumping off the cliff with everybody else.
Oh my God, Marion, thank you so much. That's so incredibly generous of you. I've missed you. I haven't seen you in a bit. Thank you so much. Talk about your mom. Or your parents going to move to Florida? Or are they staying put in New York? I'm trying so hard to convince them to move here. It's just difficult. They're concerned about like their doctors and stuff like that. My mom is getting back surgery soon, so I'm going to be heading back to New York to take care of her and stuff just for a little bit, and then try to talk them more into coming here. So I'm not sure yet, but I miss them, and I wish I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out. It's really difficult figuring out what to do. I don't know. Did you guys encounter that with like where your family's still where you moved from?
Well, my family is in Mexico, and I mean all over the place too, because everybody moved around. But I mean, most of my family is in Mexico, so it was like a pretty normal decision. Also, because I mean, we do want to start a life and include all my family in it as well. I was away from them for so long that it is nice to be back.
What about you, Guy? Are they still in Canada?
Oh, I don't have any family. My family, most of my family died when I was really young. I have some cousins and aunts, but my mother died when I was like 10 or 11, and then I never had a father. But yeah.
Oh God, I'm sorry. That's a
horrible
question.
I think not having parents really, like, I had a lot of liberal value. I know I was even though I was non-political, I think I had a lot of liberal values indoctrinated into myself, and not till I was a lot older and I was thinking about having a family did I start questioning my first beliefs, my fundamental principles. What are they even?
Yeah, for sure.
And
Thank you so much, Marion. Tiki, thank you. Organized crime and the government are synonyms. I feel like the
especially here.
government is worse. It's true, but I feel like government is worse. At least the Italian mob. I would rather have the Italian mob than the
Well,
government.
they were classy. I don't know how classy the ones over here are.
The Mexican mob? Oh yeah, I guess you got
Yes.
the cartels and shit.
Yeah, they're a bit less classy and refined. Let's just say it that way.
Really?
Yeah, well, they do grosser stuff like taking people's heads off and putting them on a bridge and stuff.
Oh, that.
Yes, all that kind of stuff that happens more here.
But it's interesting because we came from Canada and now we live in Mexico, and the organized crime from Mexico is now moving all their
Vancouver
organizations to Canada because the border is unprotected up there.
Yeah.
The Mexican border is completely shut down now. It's really hard to get across. So they're just rerouting all their factories and manufacturing up to Canada.
Now, what's your family reaction been like? Are they all still liberal, or have they sort of changed with you?
I mean, because they're all spread out everywhere. They have different values. Most of them are more like classically liberal, I would say, like in that vein of thinking. But when I was super woke, they were kind of super against that. And now that I'm so super the opposite way, they're also kind of against that. But they just deal with it. I mean, overall, they're all very supportive. And if we don't agree on something, we know how to be civil people. Like, I guess as a Mexican, or I don't know why I always found that weird in the States and Canada. It is very rare for people in Mexico, even if you disagree politically, to completely like disown or stop talking to your family. So for me, that was never like an option. I thought people that do that are, I don't know, insane, because I wouldn't be able to do that. Even with the people I disagree with the most with, like uncles that are like super against Trump and like right against it and stuff. I still talk to them because I would find it insane not to. But in Canada, that's very easy for most people to do, funnily enough.
Marion, thank you so much. That's so nice of you. With their advanced age, I don't blame them staying in New York. They have serious medical needs. It's probably for the best they stay in a place they love and know. You just have to go visit them more often. Yeah, I wish I'd kind of considered that more before I moved. I don't know if I'm gonna end up moving back, or if like I need to be near because like my dad especially is like very, very old. So yeah, it's been really difficult. But like I've lived close to them forever. So I don't know. It's just a money thing right now. I got laid off recently. So if anyone out there is hiring, hit me up. It's just kind of a money thing that I'm trying to figure out at the moment. But thank you so much, Marion. I miss them a lot. Tiki, thank you. Taxes are protection money. Try not paying either. Well, and these bitches were doing that in 2020 with the BLM riots and shit, that you had BLM going around to businesses making demands of these small businesses and basically threatening, if you don't do what we say, we're going to burn your business down.
But that was a tolerant and peaceful left.
Of course, mostly peaceful, peaceful.
Sorry.
I wanted to bring up a clip. So this is something I wanted to play. I don't know if you guys know Nick Shirley, but he does a lot of
I love him.
We watch him a lot.
Yes.
But yeah, so he does the one thing that I won't do, that he goes into these places alone holding his own camera. I'm like, I won't go alone. I'll do it, but someone fucking come with me. Which is why I don't do more of them, because I can never get anyone to go with me. I'm like sick in the head that I want to go and confront these crazy people.
Oh no, I want to go too.
Let's go. Oh my God, come to Florida and let's like go find them. Or like let's go to, I don't know, let's go somewhere and let's go interview.
The problem here, for example, we've tried to do it, but people just won't talk to you. Like they'll just avoid you if you have a camera. So you just end up becoming like an island around people. And even if you try to go ask them, they really try not to be on camera. So
yeah, here it's like I went with my friend a while ago to film. They were having like some sort of anti-Trump protest. And so my friend Adam is this like big veteran, like this big tough guy. And so he was like keeping an eye on, and these crazy Antifa bitches like formed a circle around us and start following us everywhere. These people are insane.
Mhm.
That's
And
what I've been
they're-
trying to tell people for years because, I've been doing events like this for years. I've
Mhm.
seen Antifa face to face, and I've been trying to tell people for years, like, these people want you dead.
Mhm.
And whenever I would say that, I'd be told, oh, you're exaggerating. That's hyperbole. No, no, no. These people want you dead. I have seen them. There is nothing behind the eyes.
Mhm. Yeah, I remember when Billboard Chris went to Montreal and they broke his arm. Like he sent me that text message, like almost right after it happened, and I was trying to help him get like that out to the world, and I was trying to contact Daily Wire and etc. But I guess at that point we were both like unknown completely, so that story didn't get picked up. I'm glad it's now finally getting picked up because, especially in Canada and with Billboard Chris, those stories have been happening forever. And even with me, like I've gone to protests and gotten spat at also by the crazy lefties, not just by the homeless people, and them yelling at me colonizer and all those sorts of stuff. And I was like, I'm Mexican, I'm not even from here, like I don't have any family here, it's just me. And I got here 13 years ago. Calm down.
They don't care.
But
They don't care. They
no.
will, like, look at, you were seeing now what they've done to Charlie, that like they'll make shit up about you and then use their own lies as a justification to hate you, to kill you in some cases, and anything can be justified based on their own lies.
Yeah.
Well, they have a circle of violence where they'll talk shit about somebody. So somebody crazy from their side will get up and actually do something, and then they'll praise them for it. And then they'll put out a list or target the next person, and it just perpetuates. When a crazy lunatic steps out of the right and does something, everybody disowns that person and says that's wrong.
But even
sure.
with Andy No, like I've been saying for years, because I've also been following Andy No's work for years, it's way more organized, I think, that people think. They think it's just a protest that starts almost organically. Of course, they're organizing somewhere. Of course, they're talking behind the scenes. And now we also have seen how a lot more normies are a bit looser on the head than we thought. Like doctors, nurses celebrating that Charlie Kirk is gone. That, I think, to a lot of people was a wake-up call. But because I think I saw it a lot in Canada and how they spoke about people in Canada, it didn't surprise me as much. But
no, I hate the fact that it didn't surprise me at all.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. These people are psychotic.
Yes.
I want to pull up this clip from Nick. So Nick went into he's in New York and went to interview some of the Hamas hoes.
Another thing I don't get.
Oh, don't even. They're insane. So this bitch who you're gonna see. Oh, how I wish I was filming it. I encountered this bitch once in New York.
Oh,
and
you
she
did?
was filming. I wish I filmed it too, because this bitch was trying to like get me on like quizzing me about like the vaccine and shit like that. And I just destroyed her so badly that I guess she never put out the footage. But this bitch is crazy. And she probably, I don't think she was on as many drugs then. She's probably on way more drugs now.
I think most of them are.
Hello. He's a racist piece of shit. He's a dirty white piece of shit.
I am?
Yeah, let me show my teeth.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Oh, can you imagine? I feel like bats are going to fly out of there.
Oh my God. I remember her from Pierce Morgan. They actually invited her on there one day, and then she was never seen again after that.
This bitch is crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Can you imagine, by the way, if a man did that to a woman? Can you imagine if a conservative man whipped out his dick and was rubbing it on a liberal woman? Can you imagine? He would be given the death penalty.
The worst part is I can't imagine a liberal dude doing that, sadly.
Well, they do it with pride, with the parade, with the children.
That's true.
Oh, the shit that my eyes have been exposed to against my will.
Same.
Say free Palestine! Say free Palestine! Say free Palestine! Say free Palestine! Okay, titties. Titties.
Say free Palestine.
Free Palestine.
Say Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter. My life matters too.
No, don't say. I love Nick, but don't say anything. Like, if these motherfuckers, and I've been in this situation where they're like, say this, say this. Even in some cases, if it's something I agree with, if they told me to say the sky is blue, I wouldn't fucking say it, because you motherfuckers aren't going to put words in my mouth.
And don't ever apologize. That's the big thing.
Never. Thank you.
No, it doesn't. I feel like Charlie Kirk. Say fuck Charlie Kirk. Say fuck Charlie Kirk.
No, never.
Say fuck Charlie Kirk.
Fuck Charlie Kirk. Fuck Charlie Kirk.
Say fuck Charlie Kirk.
Why would I say that? Why would I say that?
He's racist.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
No, he's not.
He said if my pilot was black, I would question the
And he
production.
said black women got brain processing power.
Well, look at you. Look at you. Look at you.
Look at you.
Black lives matter. White lives matter. All lives matter. We see him. We see him.
No, you want to see
We
him?
see him.
Put him in your mouth.
Nope. I would not.
They're so nasty.
Oh. I would say the equivalent of her on the right would be Alex Stein, and Alex Stein is not like he's still a good representative
No,
of the
Alex
right.
Stein has,
Well, it's comedy. He's loud, but
I don't think she's doing it in comedy.
well, she is. She's a comedian.
It's not very funny.
I think she's just like a comedian, like to
insane.
justify her fucking
Yeah.
mental illness and
Yeah, I think
drugs.
so.
She's
as
mentally ill.
No.
Hey, titties.
Hey. Stop. I don't want to see your titties. What? Wait. Hey. Hey.
Oh
Wait.
my God.
Why? I came here to talk to you guys. No, ma'am. No one
He's
wants to
got
see your
brass
titties.
balls to go there
Shut the
alone.
left one. Titties.
There's a whole lot of girls that got hurt tits, that's for sure.
Go that way. Go that way. Go that way.
You
Go that way.
You can't have it both ways. You can't
That
have it
way.
both ways.
We're animals. Rawr. Rawr. I'm an animal,
You're
bitch.
acting like one.
I'm
That's
an
for sure.
animal, bitch.
You're acting like one. That's for
These people really make me want to consider becoming racist.
Well,
Like,
it's,
I
it's,
feel like I've made a mistake in not being sufficiently racist.
Well, I think the culture of empathy and like of being a nice person has gone a bit too far, and you do have to be able to call out people on their bad behavior, regardless of what they look like. It's
No.
just being allowed to live in a civilized society.
this is great because this is going to bring all the moderates that might be left on the left right over to either being not voting in the next election or coming over to the Conservative Party.
And Nick surely has a patient of a saint.
Tell Charlie Kirk he's in my pussy. And Charlie Kirk died of a fentanyl overdose. Charlie Kirk died of a fentanyl overdose.
I think she's gonna
That's
die.
what he
of a
died
fentanyl.
Oh,
Pretty sad.
It's disgusting.
I know,
This is disgusting. Wow. You hope I get
Oh, there it
assassinated?
is, the party of love and hope.
Yeah.
Oh,
Those are-
and get
should be
out of
considered.
our country. I didn't do anything.
so tough?
He just said F our country. He said F our country. I would never touch you.
America, bro.
I would never touch you. If you guys don't like America, leave.
See, that's what sucks so much about doing things like this and interacting with leftist crazies
Mhm.
is you can't do anything. You can't, if they hit you, you can't defend yourself. You can't do anything because you know how that'll get spun and how that'll get reported. And
Well,
that
the
they'll be
crazy-
victims.
The crazy part is Gavin Newsom's trying to tell ICE to take off their masks. There needs to be a law that these people cannot have masks because they need to be identified if they resort to violence.
Yes.
I mean, these are the people who you know, you have fucking Ben Affleck's daughter still advocating for masks.
Oh
Yes.
God, yeah.
And the other one's trans.
I thought that was the fucking trans one. Just saying.
The white people are illegal.
I am not illegal. I am not illegal.
Yes, you
I
are.
am not
The
illegal.
white
There's no one anything happening.
What? You're the one who was saying death to Charlie Kirk. Look at you. This is the second time NYPD has had to pull me out because of how hostile these people get.
He has got brass ones to go there alone. I would never, because I feel like that you already have a target on your back, and that puts a bigger target on you.
And he has the patience of a saint. And she was wearing a shirt, I think that said Mexican, so I disavow her completely.
Oh, I didn't see that. That was in New York City.
Yeah.
I kind of miss dealing with the crazies.
Are there any? There must be some in Florida.
They have, they have this Instagram account. I follow it. I get notifications for whenever they're gonna have. So, you know what sucks though is like nobody will go film shit for me. Nobody wants to like be around these crazy people. Everyone thinks they're gonna get murdered. So I would be
I know.
doing more if I could find someone. I'm gonna need to like go to like the Republican groups here so they can be like, will someone film me doing this?
Or
I'll
just
pay
go
you."
to an MMA gym and ask people if they want to get paid like $100 for like the day to just follow you around.
I do not have the balls that Nick does to go there alone.
No. And for some of them, he used to go with his mom, I think, as well, which is even
Oh, really?
He also has balls of steel.
Yeah,
My,
they have to try.
my
They used to-
mom if my mom is like in a wheelchair because she needs back surgery, but if she weren't, she would eviscerate these fucking people.
Well, it's interesting.
She doesn't want to brand it. I encountered her years ago before she tried to rebrand herself as like, oh, it's performance art. Bullshit. This bitch is crazy.
Yeah. And it's because nobody calls it out. Because they feel like they can't. And when they do, they're labeled XYZ.
That's
why
protected. I'm hoping that that's like one of the silver linings of the last couple weeks is that I think and I hope that maybe people are becoming a little bit bolder and a little braver and speaking out more. Even like there have been a handful of even like celebrities speaking up who wouldn't have done so before. So
yeah,
it's absolutely crucial in the United States after what happened to Charlie Kirk that people stand up and keep doing events. Otherwise, it turns into Mexico. When we first got here, we went to CPAC and we talked to some younger kids and they had very conservative views. I said, well, why don't you go online? Can we go on our show? Can we interview you? And they said, no, there's too much violence. They'll come after my parents. They'll come after me. So people here have been threatened into submission here.
But that's also because of the
cartels. Yeah.
Yeah, in Mexico, they might have a little bit more legitimacy to feel that way.
But
now also
being cowards.
Because of the government now, like they've actually forced a few citizens that were critical of certain governors or deputies, just people in the government that were women. They were forced to apologize for 30 days on X, or at least that was like the idea that they had. You guys going to the washroom. But like they forced people to apologize for 30 days straight on X, saying that they didn't mean to commit gender violence. And that is a way to also silence people here.
What was the gender violence?
She said that, well, the private citizen that was then punished said that this lady was corrupt because her husband was also corrupt. And then she got installed pretty quickly into the government, which is true. But
that's the gender
she was from
violence?
Morena. Yeah, it's political gender violence. That's a thing.
Christ, I can't with these people now.
And it was called, and because they didn't want to release the name of this politician, but then it was very clear who it was, she had to, the whole controversy was called like protected data or dato protegido, which was like the person that we weren't supposed to talk about, but it ended up being a Streisand effect. Everybody started talking about the corrupt politician.
These bitches are out of their fucking minds.
Yes. Oh, you went to the wrong one.
No, by the way, you guys have like the cutest setup. I'm very jealous.
Oh, that's all, producer guy. Where are you going?
Where am I going? Okay.
There you go.
No, it looks great.
Okay.
Yeah, he does
How
all
long
the.
have you had that setup?
When we decided to leave Canada, I was working 4 jobs, like 100 hours a week.
I was working 3.
And I was saving up to have money for Mexico, but I was also trying to build a small production company because I needed to have a job down here. My back kind of went out, so I couldn't do my regular physical jobs. So I was gonna have to switch careers anyway.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of production company?
Oh, we do this photography. We want to get more into documentaries, but yeah.
Dude, that's awesome. Let me know however I can help. That's amazing.
Thank you. But yeah, no, he does all kind of like the pre and production stuff. So like all the cameras, all the lighting, everything self-taught mostly. I mean, we did work in the film industry.
I was watching your channel and I'm like, God, I need to step up my fucking game. I'm embarrassed like compared to yours.
She's the talent. I'm the guy behind
I'm not just the talent. So what I was saying is he does all cameras, lighting, self-taught mostly, and then I do all the like editing and post-production. So that's kind of how we divide the labor, because we don't have any editors or anything. It's a
lot of work though. We can barely keep up because all of our followers are on the Spanish channel, and man, we have to do 2 channels, one in English, one in Spanish. It's almost impossible.
And then with social media, I don't even have time to do anything on social media really. So I'm very but yeah, I have to step it up there as well.
Dylan wants to know if you use OBS.
Oh yeah,
for the lives, yes.
I can never get that shit to work on my laptop. I've tried OBS, I just fail at it. We struggled at first, but again, it has all been trial and error, through trial and error, trying to figure out, like looking at YouTube videos and tutorials and how to do this, and then
The way I kind of learned to edit really was just every time I had a question, I would just Google like how to do this on like editing software, and then I would just go down from there.
Well, today
and I'm not good at it.
We did it live today, and I haven't messed up in like 6 months, a long time. And then I watched it back, and I forgot to turn on my freaking mic.
Yes,
I was so pissed.
Oh, I've done that so many times that I'll be talking for like 10 minutes, and then I look at the chat, and they're like, "You're on mute."
This was the whole live.
It was like an hour and a half. I was so
that sucks.
Mine was on.
Well, before we continue, let's have a very quick word from our sponsor.
It's time for my grifting. Give me all your money. Don't just be a drifter. Help me be a grifter.
Fuck you, pay me.
So if you guys like the channel, support the channel, become a channel member, send in your super chats, or join my locals, join my Patreon. The links are below. We do fun stuff. We do game nights. We do movie nights. Our next movie night will be this Sunday. We're watching Sleepaway Camp, which I've never seen before. Chat friends have said nobody is allowed to spoil it for me because apparently there's stuff in this movie that's offensive or something. I don't know. I went to go do horror trivia with my friend Greg, and the host of it started bitching about this movie. He was like, well, this movie is inherently problematic, and it's very microaggressive and very offensive. And the audience was just like dead silent. I'm like, good. I'm glad nobody's buying his shit. But yes, Sunday we're watching Sleepaway Camp. I'm very excited. And obviously, their links are below. You guys support their channel. They got a Spanish one. They got an English one. Pick your language and support these lovely people.
Thank you.
Well, hopefully all the offensive stuff's still in the movie because they're starting to re-edit these movies on Netflix and everywhere else. In Canada, they completely banned Trump out of Home Alone 3, I think it was.
2.
Oh, I forgot 2.
Yeah,
the good one.
Yeah, they took him out of the edition, the Canadian edition.
Yeah.
Can I tell you? I just bought this book that it's just like some horror novel that sounded good. I bought it, and it was just published this year, so it's not like it's some relic from 2020. The first 4 pages, trigger warning, and it gives every subject that anyone could take issue with in the book. I'm like, are we really still doing this in 2025?
That ruins the plot twist as well if they're going to tell you what's coming.
Yeah.
It's like trigger warning, murder. I'm like, oh really? There's murder in a horror novel. Thank you for that. And they're like, bigotry and racism. I'm like, I want my money back. Give me a refund.
Well, a big problem is the institutional capture that has happened with almost everything, but especially more like artsy, like movies, film, books, all of that was completely captured pretty early on. So to move away from it is going to take a while. And a lot of those people are still kind of holding onto their desks, trying not to get, pushed out.
Oh, but we did a story today. Baywatch is coming back in 26 and 27. Although I'm not a big Baywatch fan, it is a much more show geared towards guys, and I think it's a good sign for where the culture is going.
Hopefully.
Hell yeah. I am an ally to the heteros. I'm an ally to the straight community.
Thank you.
Good. Hopefully it won't be, I feel like it'll be the right way. I feel like if this would have come out a couple years ago, it would have been chicks with dicks flopping around in their bikinis.
Well, I feel like it's transitioning Hollywood. This year, they're trying to re-edit and rewrite everything that they had already filmed, and they're doing an okay job. But next year, I think it's going to be original content. The culture shift will be in full effect, hopefully.
Did you see that Jessica Chastain show that now they're not releasing?
Oh no!
What was it called? It's about that like awful AWFL.
It was like it was her like going
down
after right-wing terror and domestic terrorists. It was going to be like she's going
the Savant,
the gender.
Yeah.
What was it called?
The Savant.
Oh yeah, the Savant. They forgot the idiot. An idiot savant.
And it was apparently based on like a kind of true story from an article published on one of those liberal magazines a while ago that was almost completely fabricated by the author, but then they like went even harder towards there. But even like Jessica Chastain was trying to say, no, but in the series, like it's not a specific group. It's just, but of course it was. And I think they weren't able to cut out enough of it to not be offensive and to not do a Jimmy Kimmel again, that they just pulled it for now.
Ramiro, I'm with you. It was going to be glorious. I know. I really wanted to hate watch this. I mean, we would have gotten so much content out of it.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I feel like they're trying to do away with the consequences of their actions over the last decade.
But unfortunately, I mean, we did still see Disney cave with the Kimmel thing. Like, in my opinion, it was like they just brought him back because of the threats that they started receiving after the pew pew at the ABC affiliate. Like, I think that's what did it. It wasn't because they actually wanted him back. He wasn't doing numbers for them.
I'm like tinfoil Hattie, because I think the whole thing was a publicity stunt. I think they were always going to have him back. He was always just going to get a slap on the wrist. And the thing is, what he said that that he was taken off for, it was just a blatant lie. But it wasn't even one of the worst things he said. Like when he said people who aren't vaccinated should just die and not
good luck,
have access
Wheezy.
to hospitals and shit. It wasn't even like one of the worst things he said. It was just a total lie. So yeah, I feel like he had like maybe 1 million viewers at most before, and now he has like over 6 million. So I'm like, I think it's pretty stunned.
I think they're going to learn the lesson because the affiliates might not play him, hopefully, and
they might force them to.
The right's getting good at boycotting stuff, just like Bud Light. So boycotting Jimmy Kimmel. Yeah,
I don't think anybody on the right was watching that man, other than to laugh at him or like get annoyed at what he was saying.
Ugh, you know what's so horrible too? I opened Facebook today and I forgot so most of the liberals I used to know when I was a liberal have long since unfriended me, but the few that haven't and are still there, I'm like, ugh, that I'll see when they pop up. I used to know this guy. I used to be friends with this guy who was like best friends with Jimmy Kimmel, and he's posting all this stuff of them, and he's like, oh, the bravest person I know. My hero, the braverson, so brave. Shut the fuck up.
Well, Jimmy Kimmel's still on. I don't know how The View is still on. That's what's crazy to me.
Nah. They have nothing else.
YouTube is like these. It's so weird how these executives, their ideology supersedes everything. It supersedes money. It supersedes making a good show. Because when that show used to have like crazy liberals and hardcore conservatives, oh, that was fucking must-see TV. That was the greatest show on earth when they had Rosie O'Donnell and Elizabeth Hasselbeck fucking clawing each other's eyes out. I would never miss an episode. But now they don't even have any true conservative on there because it's there's a reason it's called The View and not The Views because it's just one view.
Yeah.
Oh, we see Piers Morgan. I mean, that formatting works. You might as well do it live in studio and call it The Views. Like it would work great, but I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Sorry, what were you saying?
No, one of the things that has been the most egregious to me with the Jimmy Kimmel thing I was going to mention before we go on to The View again was just the equivalency they were trying to make between Charlie Kirk being completely ended, and it was the most, like one of the preeminent, if not the most preeminent figure in the conservative and the Republican wing, apart from Trump, and then Jimmy Kimmel losing a few shows for like 3 days. That the fact that they were trying to make it almost the same that really made me angry. Like that,
Crazy.
I'm still angry about that.
A video of this liberal being interviewed who literally said it's the same thing. Oh, it's just like Jimmy Kimmel. I'm like, are you out of your fucking mind? Oh,
and
by the way,
shows.
Greg, I'm so sorry. I just realized I missed your super chat. Thank you so much, though. The most evil, cruel, callous, meanest, violent, nastiest piece of work are the ones that call themselves kind and empathetic. Nail on the fucking head. That is so damn true. The most horrible people I've ever met in my life, the ones who always talk about kindness. I'm glad that quote of Charlie's that they keep misrepresenting about empathy. I'm so glad he said that. Yes. It is so true. These people have made me allergic to that word.
Exactly. And the thing is, I don't even think they even understand the consequences or the value of life anymore. I don't think they've completely removed that from themselves and their way of thinking. So of course it's equivalent to them, what happened to Charlie versus what happened to Jimmy, because they have no values. Once again, they don't understand even life anymore, I think. Might be because they're numb out from the SSRIs, who knows?
Yes, thank you. I hope that that's a thing that people are waking up to, because I really believe that that is a big factor in a lot of things that we've seen over the last decade in this country. Of when you look at everything that happened with COVID and how people could just go along with it, that's why, because they're fucking drugged up zombies.
And they have no original thoughts, I think, either.
No,
Like
none.
they're all taking it from others that are taking it from others, so it just becomes a whole circle of their own same idea.
Mm-hmm. No, they just repeat anything to just stay popular with that. But like I said, I hope people are getting a bit braver with it and not like. I had somebody reach out to me recently who was like, "Oh, can I come on your show sometime? I like your stuff, blah blah blah." And he's like, "Oh, but I don't show my face and I won't show my voice or my." I'm like, "No, I'm sorry, no, I have a no cowards policy."
I think you had Indian Jesus on the other day, and I was watching his debate with Andrew Wilson. And yeah, I was glad to see you had him on.
Oh, I love him. I love the both of them, actually.
Yeah, I like Andrew Wilson a lot.
Yeah,
that's how
he
I
watches him a lot.
That's how I discovered Indian Jesus.
Yeah, it's funny. I used to do a lot of debates on Andrew Wilson's channel like a couple years ago. He would have me like debate these crazy transes and shit. So I love Andrew. I think he's misunderstood. I love them both. But yeah, I saw Indian Jesus the other night was debating a bunch of crazy leftists. I was thinking, I'm like, ooh, we should do this sometime. Like, let's debate these crazy.
It's hard to get them to debate. That's the problem.
Oh, tell me about it. I have over the years asked so many fucking liberals to come on my show. No.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you got to do street interviews. That's the only way to corner them.
Yes.
Yeah.
But then they yell at you and they try to. I mean, when I saw just now when they poured water on Nick Shirley, you never know what that could be. It could be acid. It could be something else. And that's the level.
The milkshakes with Andy.
Yes, exactly. With just throwing stuff.
You know what they do also is because like I was saying, even if they physically assault you, you really can't hit them back. You can't defend yourself because depending on where you are in the country, you will be the one arrested. One time me and some friends of mine, we were chased by an entire mob through Dallas right in front of a police precinct. And the police basically blamed us just for walking down the street. So in a lot of these blue states, or even, in some areas in a red state, like you will be the one to suffer for it.
Well,
so
for inciting.
You can't do anything. Yeah. And the thing, because I've done a lot of these events, so what these people very often do is they'll try to provoke you. They will do everything short of punching you in the face to try to get you to react. So this college event that I did with Walkaway recently, I had maybe a dozen people. It was fun. But so afterwards, right when we finished, I had maybe like a dozen people screaming in my face, this far away from my face, screaming everything. You motherfucker, you're ugly, you're stupid, you're this, you're that. And usually I don't react because I'm used to it enough. But like I had a dozen of them in my face. And finally I snapped and just go, shut the fuck up. And you would have thought that like a bomb exploded. They all go, oh, he just told a black woman to shut up. Oh.
And I do think it is insane to me that it's mostly that kind of behavior is happening almost, not mostly, but a lot in college campuses and with kids that are supposed to be very intelligent and they're there for their merits apparently, and that are being educated further to be members of society. And I worked at high schools for a few years, and I was almost the only one that knew even how to discipline or how to wasn't scared of disciplining these children when they did something wrong, and they do need that. And especially if they haven't gotten it all the way to college, I mean, it shouldn't be the responsibility of colleges, but somebody has to discipline them to make them into better human beings, because at the end that will also help them. But if you let them continue on this path, they're going to be doomed just for themselves. They're going to end up tripping themselves up in life eventually, if not on purpose.
You know what? This is why you never see any woke Italians, because that shit would never fly in an Italian household. It's like, you would get the belt. You would whenever I was a kid and I'd go to the Metagons, their families, they would be like, hey, buddy, you feel like going to bed now? Or like they would be so like that does not fly in Italian household. They'll be like, do what I fucking said.
Yeah. It's kind of the same with Mexicans, not all of them. And now here,
so.
the whole stupid gentle parenting thing is becoming fashionable too. But I mean, usually if you're from a Catholic family, you do get disciplined pretty well.
And I feel like we're better off for it.
Yes.
Like when you see these parents that like, they just stick an iPad in front of their toddler. It's crazy.
Yeah, and wanting to discipline and guide your children and help them understand the boundaries, because that's what kids do. They're testing boundaries, especially teenagers. But the whole reason why they're doing that is for somebody to actually give them where the boundary is and guide them around it, and to how to learn how to actually be a human being and an adult human being as well. But nowadays, the boundaries have been completely removed, and now nobody can say anything. And it's going to might sound very controversial, but I do think a little bit, or just in general, discipline is love, because you are caring enough to teach your child how to behave and how to be a human being.
100%. I couldn't agree more. And the thing is, like, you know, when you're a kid, you bitch about it. You like, oh, I hate you, mom. Hate you, dad. You know, you bitch about it. But then when you're older, you realize that it was a good thing and you're appreciative of it. Like, you know, I always think of this when the alphabet people love doing this, that they'll try, their go-to tactic is emotional blackmail. I'm going to kill myself if you don't do what I want. And I just remember when I was a little kid, I was a fucking terror. And I remember if I like didn't get my way or something, I would tell my mom, I'd be like, oh, I'm going to jump out the window. And my mom would always tell me, okay, go ahead first, make it count. And guess what? I never jumped out the fucking window. So that's what we need to tell all these bitches. Oh, I'm going to kill if you don't trans the kids, I'm going to kill myself. Go ahead first, make it count.
Please go ahead. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, also talking about debate, it's very important that debate continues within the United States, because countries like Canada, the EU, the UK, if you debate on camera and you say something that they consider hate speech, they can report you to the police. You'll be arrested and fined. So people aren't having those debates globally. And because America has the most social media, it actually pushes out to the other countries. So it makes a global impact.
Yep.
But yeah, back to you're saying, just in the, like with high schools, because I did work with Gen Z, like even a few years ago, so they were a bit younger, the ones I was working with. But I would tell other teachers even, like, don't believe everything they're telling you. Like, people have become they're treating children and adolescents like they would treat adults, but that's not what they need. And again, you have to call them out on these lies. And most of them wouldn't even, like most of the adults in the room wouldn't recognize the lies anymore. And I would just be like, that they're telling a lie. That's not true. Tell them they're telling a lie and that you notice it, because that's important for them to understand.
It's crazy. They treat adults like children and they treat children like adults.
Yeah,
exactly.
Nuts. The emo trash. This is so damn true. The only correct response to that shit is boo fucking who.
Yeah.
I love it.
And they've been taken way too seriously.
Well, and that's why we get all these fucking monsters that they grow up and they become, you know, human resources. They become Antifa. This is where all these fucking monsters are being created.
Well, it's also crazy
and
because
encouraged.
They're like you said, they are threatening to kill themselves. So we have to have delicate fingers with them. But then they're telling regular society, go use the MAID program, go jump in a pod. We want you to kill yourself. So for one group, it's no, don't kill yourself. We'll give you anything. For the other one, it's like, go kill yourself.
It's fucking crazy. Their ideology is so inconsistent. It makes no sense. There are more holes in it than friggin' Swiss cheese.
And there's no moral grounding. There's no foundational moral values that are set in stone, like there is and there was in the West for the longest time, thanks to religion. But it's been completely forgotten about, at least
for thousands of years. Christianity worked amazingly. That's what gave us the society we have. And now that we're here, it's like we just want to destroy it.
Yeah.
I feel like you guys would be good parents. When are you gonna have some little ones?
As soon as the YouTube is successful, we'll have one.
Okay, that's why you guys got to subscribe to the YouTube channels, Spanish and English.
Thank you. And I do like I'm crazy. I want to homeschool. I want to like I have all these crazy ideas that even like my family is like that might be a bit too much. But even here I've been checking out schools just because I'm curious about everything. So I went like to my old school to see other schools, what they were teaching. It's the same woke crap because here most like of the good schools, considered good schools, are super expensive, but they're private. But all the good schools have gone super woke because they're just copying everything the US is doing and the Canada is doing because they think that that's good. So I would never even stick my child in a school here, much less in Canada. That was one of the reasons why I wanted to leave. But even here, it has become almost impossible.
No, that's not crazy at all. That's just smart. Even in red states here, like every friend of mine who has kids, it's something that they're dealing with. That they'll have, you know, some teacher be like, tell their daughters, hey, maybe you're really a boy, or tell their sons, maybe you're really a girl. It's insane.
Even in Catholic schools, I think Megyn Kelly spoke about it in New York, that was happening in like a private, you know, religious school, and not just one, but multiple.
That's fucking insane.
We also played the clip the other day from the UK, and the mother blocked out her child's face and just asked her some questions. Oh, what did you learn in school today? And he started going off, Allah is God. Allah made everything. They're teaching kids in public school in the UK that Allah is God, which is, I thought religion was supposed to be separate from school.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys see, I just saw this recently happened, that there was like this big, they had all the Palestinians and the Muslims in front of Trump Tower having the Muslim prayer. It is such a psyop. These people were so fixated on the Jews and think the Jews are doing everything. Just wait till the fucking Muzzies invade and you'll see.
And I think it might be like because we see it in the UK, like we see how bad that's getting over there, and we see also in Canada how bad it's getting in certain sectors, and even in Minnesota and other places in Texas, in the States. But I think that has become kind of forgotten about almost and not as talked about because people were labeled any kind of phobic when you spoke out about it, and then the pro-Palestine people merged with the Antifa people, and then that all kind of became a weird soup where now you can't even tell which ideology goes where and who's with what and what they're planning to do. But if those two actually merge, then the FTO, you know, designation will be much easier for Trump to put through, I think.
That's really where the horseshoe theory
might be
most
being
evident.
used as well.
Yeah, you're starting to really see that horseshoe theory in certain areas, and it's almost mind-breaking to see the left have totally contradicting ideals, but aligning with all these groups.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get it. I don't get it. I saw this guy I know who's like a conservative Christian, and the other day he's posting all about free Palestine. I'm like, do you know what these people would do to you? Do you know what they think of Christians?
And I think because of the whole Marxist belief of oppressor versus oppressor, essentially that's where it came from. They just see the world that way, and there's no other viewpoint that they can have, and they can't hold in their brain two ideas that yes, maybe they are oppressed, but they've also done some pretty awful things, and they continue to do them, and there are really bad people that are doing horrible things over there, and even some of the things that they worship and do are also not great and don't go with the Western values that you were taught maybe when you were a child. But because they see, even with Mexicans, it happens, the same thing happens. Like, and even with Mexicans here, and I was saying this on a Spanish live the other day, like we complain all the live long day about the violence issues in Mexico and the cartels and etc. All the live long day, we ask our government to do something. As soon as they cross the border illegally into the States, now they become, our poor hunted brothers and sisters by the government. They're hunting down the same cartel people that were living here. Now they're living there and starting to do the stuff over there that they were doing over here that you were complaining about. But as soon as Trump, because it's Trump, actually does something that you've been asking your own damn government to do for who knows how long, then you complain because, now they're oppressed. Now they're in the States looking for a better life. Well, here they were dismembering people, and then you were complaining about it.
What's the attitude about illegal migration into the U.S. there in Mexico? Is it that they're just happy to get rid of them, or just they're against anything Trump is for?
I mean, there's a distinction, because there is like the regular people, I will say, and that are not very involved in politics, and then there's more of the elite academic side and the ones that write articles and have YouTube channels or just on the TV and with politicians, and almost basically all politicians except this like super conservative ones where there's like one or two with Eduardo Verástegui being the most prominent one, the Sound of Freedom guy. He wants to form a party and run a whole thing, and he does CPAC as well. But except for him, every single other almost politician hates Trump, hates how they're treating our people. It has become this like how they speak about us. That was another point with Charlie
people
Kirk.
that stay there.
It was another thing with, like, for example, Charlie Kirk. One of the misinformations that got like really big here in Mexico was that, oh, he hated Mexicans and he spoke badly about Mexicans. That's why it's good what happened to him. And it was just because he was saying that, I mean, we have like a narco state and that our government is completely captured and that we don't want that in the States to happen. That's what Charlie said. And that's what I was trying to explain. Like, with the same thing we say here, only when we hear it from someone else and that notices that it's happening in our country, then we feel very offended. And that just drives me insane.
Well, and because it's kind of a narco state here, Trump is trying to work with the Mexican government to potentially come in and try to clean it up. It's really a 50-50 split. I would say in the population, half of it actually wants Trump to come in and work with the Mexican government, clean it up, and the other half is just against it because it's Trump.
So those are like the based Mexicans.
Well, and because we've also had with Felipe Calderón, I'm gonna go into like a deep cut for a bit, but like with a president from like back in the early aughts and then 2010s, he started the initial like narco war, or like the war on the cartels, and it ended up being way worse for the country and for the just national security in general, and it emboldened and actually helped form a lot of the newer cartel, the more horrible ones that we see nowadays. So a lot of people are worried, me being including myself, and I do speak out a lot against it, that having the U.S. government come in completely, not just cooperating, but wanting to do everything by themselves might start something similar to that and might actually push, because we know there's some crossover between cartels and our National Guard and our, army. It might push those people that are already embedded within that and the cartels to work together. Sorry, my dog's going crazy. To work together to go against that.
Dog?
Oh, I'll bring her up. I'll bring her up.
Yeah, who cares about politics? We just want dogs.
Be careful with her. There she is. Oh, you can't see your butt.
No, what's her name?
No, her name's Girl.
Oh, you said
there, she sat.
Did you say her name is Girl?
Yeah, my name's Guy, so we
Guy,
know
Girl and Guy. I love it. Oh.
But I think she has to go bathroom.
You guys are amazing. Do you ever come to the States? Because you should.
Well, we traveled through it last year. Again, like it was, I don't even know how many states we did, but we went through down there. But I mean, I have some family in the States. Don't go too often, but have been.
Well, you should come visit.
Thank you. But just before the dog interrupted, just quickly because I'll forget if I don't say it. Because of the where am I? There. Because of them merging like both the cartels with the army, trying to go against the common enemy, then that would be the U.S. Army. I think that would be like the worst case scenario, but something that could happen. And that is what would scare me about Trump just going full force, that the people will be the ones that end up suffering in the end, because we've already seen this. Just it's going to be 10 times 1,000, I think, because then maybe the army and the National Guard would be involved as well in going against the U.S. efforts. In my opinion.
Well,
I love this, by the way. That dog will never be gender confused.
Yeah.
It's funny because Trump has a slogan that says "Make America Great Again." In Mexico, they have hugs, not bullets.
Yes, that was AMLO's whole,
which is crazy
line.
What does that mean?
Because he would complain about what Felipe Calderón did with the war on substances. The way that the leftiest of the presidents we've had in a long time, AMLO, he wanted to say like, oh, we actually have to love these people and we have to love them out of crime and we have to hug them instead of throwing bullets at them.
No police. We just need to hug them. Yeah,
yes.
Craziness.
Oh my God, I just noticed this too. Do they dress to match their mics?
Oh,
you guys do match their mics.
No, I mean, he usually does wear black, and I usually do wear lighter colors.
I did security for so many years. My whole
all his clothes are
black.
And I have been wearing black and white still for like Morning Charlie. So I've been wearing bite all week. But it did really hit me way more than I thought. And I was actually traveling to Vancouver because I had to do a bunch of paperwork. I had to go back to the hellhole 2 weeks ago. And it happened literally the day I got to Vancouver. And I was already jet lagged. I got there at 6 a.m. I couldn't get into my room. And I was sitting in the lobby. And all of a sudden, I just started seeing the news coming in, just that he had been shot, not that anything else had happened. And I just started kind of refreshing and trying to figure out what was happening. And then I just broke down in the lobby before I could even get a room. And then I did, in the middle, I did get a room. So I was kind of mean to the hotel lady because I was trying to like focus on what was happening with Charlie, but she was trying to be all nice. And I was like, okay, just get me a room, because I wanted to shower too. And then between like when I got into the room and when I come out of the shower, they did pronounce that he had passed. And then I just kind of broke down. Because again, he was such a big influence on so many people, but me, is like, I do still thank him. And every time, for example, one of our more liberal wokey friends here would ask like, well, what would you do to activate the youth here in Mexico? Because everybody here is apolitical because they're just done. Like there's just apathetic.
Yeah.
They don't want anything to do with it. There's no changing, they think. And I would always just send them Charlie Kirk videos and say, well, start going to talk to them, like listen to them too, have the patience to listen to them, and then give them better arguments and teach them why there is another option and there is another way. And I do have like tons and tons of links I've sent over the even years of Charlie. So yeah, that was, I don't even know what the question was, but yeah.
No, it's true. Well, I don't want to keep you guys all day. What have you got coming up?
Split.
Oh, sorry.
He messed up the camera again.
There you go.
No, it looks really good though, both ways.
Well, we're actually moving studios right now, so
Yes.
we're moving places. So I think we're going to continue to do our live show every Monday through Friday on both,
And in Spanish.
and in Spanish as well. And yeah, that's pretty much it until we move studios. Then we'll start doing edited content again.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
Takes
I
a
love
lot.
it. You guys are awesome. You need to come to the country here and we can like go interview the crazy libs. Guy can
Yes.
like he can play too. He can be interview, but also be our security. He'll be our bouncer. So.
Exactly. That's also kind of why I feel safer going out with him, even if he is on camera, like doing the camera work, because I know if anything happens in the end, he can kind of take
We'll
care of
fuck
it.
him up.
He knows what to do. But with Billboard Chris, like he was working. So when I was going out in Vancouver and filming a lot of those things, I mean, it was just him and I, and he had a giant billboard stuck to him. So to run was a bit harder. And then they would try to like hit him on the
That
billboard.
thing is
and, like,
heavy.
yes. Because I would help him carry it around as well. But it was funny as soon as you put it on, like even just random people would start yelling at him or saying like, oh, transpo, blah, blah, blah. What do you mean? And I am still trying to get him to interview again, but he is so busy now. He's gotten so big now that it's kind of impossible. But I do
He's
still
awesome. I love Chris.
admire him a lot. And like anybody that goes out too. But yeah, I do want to go to the States, to the sane parts of the States, because I've almost only been to the super woke liberal part.
Florida. Come to
I know.
Florida.
I've never been. I do.
I'm
wanna-
like the Florida tourism guy. I just try to get everyone who comes on the show to come visit me.
I used to live in Fort Lauderdale for a little while. And yeah, I absolutely love Florida. I
Oh
lived
my
there
god, come back. I'm not that far from there. Well, thank you guys so much for being here. This is awesome.
Thank you.
Chat
Thank you. It
friends,
was amazing.
you guys for being here. Obviously, subscribe to these amazing people. They got an English channel. They got a Spanish channel. Subscribe to both, because why not? Or
Thank you.
you know, you don't have to pick your language, but subscribe to both. I will be having movie night on Sunday for my subscribers, so become a channel member or join my Patreon, my locals, whatever. I will be back with a live show on Tuesday. I will be joined by the Misfit Patriot. I don't know if you guys follow him on X, but he is always handing the Hamasos their asses.
Oh,
so I'm
yeah.
excited to get into shit. And where could, so you guys just have the one page, or do you have like individual ones too?
Like no, for like X and Instagram and stuff. No, it's just everything's at Nat and the Guy, or Nat and the Guy English, Nat and the Guy. Yeah, it's just easier because
Not
again,
the guy English, not the guy Spanish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
because it's so time consuming to try to also do like social media and stuff. Like I was on you posting everywhere, and I was like, when does he have time to do
Oh, the
that?
opening for your show was amazing. We
Yes.
couldn't believe you grabbed clips from our show and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I try to like update it for each show, but
Oh,
I've
great.
gotten kind
Cool.
of bad at it. I haven't updated enough.
I don't even have an intro. I've been trying to do one for a while, and I just can't find the time to do one. But you've
Oh,
inspired
yeah, I
me
can
now.
help you.
Thank you. But thank you so much for having us.
Thank you so much for being here. You guys are amazing. Chat fam, thank you guys for being here. I will see you guys soon.
Thank you.
Adios.
Bye.